Welcome back, Soulful Society, to Soulful of Wellness,
the multi-generational podcast brought to you by two functional imperfectionists
and certified coaches
who deliver tips to live your most authentic and balanced life. Welcome to Be a Better Decision Maker in 3 Easy Steps.
We love it. We love making things easier. Today, we're talking about making decisions, whether it's something as small as choosing what to have for breakfast or as big as which city to live in. If you're having trouble making a choice or if you ever get analysis paralysis, this episode is for you.
We'll start you off with a 6-pillar platform. And then, once you have this decision-making scaffolding in place, we'll give you the 3 steps that you'll use to be a decisive, powerful decision maker.
Love it. Let's get into it.
Thank you for joining us again this week, Soulful Society. We're happy to have you with us.
Before we jump into today's episode, a very quick reminder to please follow and rate and review Soulful of Wellness. We know you have a lot of podcast choices out there, and we really appreciate your choosing this one. Doing so shows that you must already be really good at making decisions. And in today's episode, we'll tell you how to get even better.
Nice segue, Kaylin. Making decisions is something we all do, let's face it, every single day. Some of us struggle with decision making more so than others. Some people consider themselves good decision makers. But either way or anywhere in between, making decisions is such an integral part of daily life.
I know, I feel like it's just overwhelming, the thought of decision making sometimes, and just living in the digital age of just like so many options. There's so many choices. It makes it even more overwhelming.
Constantly, and those choices are often so in your face. You don't have to go searching for them. They come to us.
And it starts to, at least for me, sometimes I put all this pressure on myself that is so unnecessary because of the vast amount of choice. Just going online and online shopping, it is so overwhelming. I could be doing it for hours and still make no decisions or no purchases.
So overwhelming. Yeah, it's like the tip of the iceberg in your, quote unquote research, you perfectionists out there.
Yeah.
Do all the due diligence research before making the choice. And, some choices just aren't that significant.
Mm-hmm.
They don't warrant half the time I put into prepping for the decision.
Oh, same.
So even the most decisive among us will benefit from this 6-pillar platform that we're giving you to start off today's episode, and you'll use that as the foundation to facilitate basically all future decisions in your life.
Yeah, the hope of this episode is to mitigate any anxiety that you have when making decisions and trying to basically grow out of any sort of fear-based decision making or anything that makes you feel less than or not that confident. We want to do the opposite. We want to build up that confidence in you so that you can feel really good about your decisions. And even practicing with small ones can help you feel really good and secure in yourself when making those big decisions.
Absolutely. And we'll go into a little bit more depth about exactly what you just said, Kaylin, when we get into the middle of the 3 steps.
Perfect.
We need to start off by crediting Sarah Wolek, who is the director of the Intentional Life Lab at the University of Maryland.
So cool.
I know, right?
Intentional life lab.
I know. I want to be director of a lab that basically promotes wellness and helps people with wellness. Future goals. She developed the 6-pillar approach that we're talking about. The 6 pillars are completely personal to you. and they create a cohesive foundation on which you'll base all your decisions. So they're kind of the legwork, the grunt work. Let's be honest, you have to do on your journey to being a better version of you. The good news is that once you've gotten really clear on your 6 pillars, they're going to be the scaffolding for all your decisions.
Right.
That's where the 3 easy steps come in, and that's where it really does start to get a lot easier, because it works for practical decisions, profound decisions, large ones, small ones. It sets you up for success and helps you build your confidence in your own competence.
Perfect. So basically what you're saying, Kit, is that if we can do the legwork in these 6 pillars, it'll set up a good foundation for us to be able to then make the decisions?
Yes, and I'll make a bold statement on top of that. They will not only serve you in decision-making situations, it will serve you throughout your life. It helps you with your wellness wheel. They're very much integrated into your wellness wheel. They help you with your goals and your intentions, and basically guide you on this personal wellness journey that some of us just call life, but that we're all on.
All right, so let's dive in. We're going to talk about these 6 pillars, and then we're going to get into the 3 easy steps to make you a fabulous decision maker.
Let's do this. The first 3 are the me pillars. They're sort of the internal work, the work you do to get yourself ready. And then the second 3 are us pillars. It's you taking this ready little self out into the world where you're interacting with others. The 3 me pillars.
All right, so they're purpose, wellness, and prosperity.
These connect us to our goals and ourselves, and together they create self-responsibility and self-accountability.
Let's get into these 3 me pillars that connect our goals to ourselves. As we know in coaching, and as you probably know from listening to this podcast, a lot of what your coach will ask you are why, the why behind you're doing something. And so that's where you can kind of connect the dots in the 3 me pillars, is getting your sense of why. What is behind the motivation for this decision?
I really like that, Kaylin, because that helps any decision, big decision, small decision. You say, okay, I want XYZ, and XYZ seems like a really simple, clear goal. In coaching, we always ask, why? What will this do for you? What will this provide for you in your life? How will your life be better when you achieve this goal?
So, defining your purpose. And honestly, when I first read that, I felt really overwhelmed. That's like a huge question. It's really scary. And we're all asking ourselves that every single freaking day of being a human. So, take it lightly, and your purpose can evolve and change. So, if you feel the same anxiety that I felt when hearing that, just take it lightly. Your purpose identifies the values that guide your life. It enables development of character and guides your actions and guards against inner and outer conflicts. I think what could be helpful is even writing down the things that you truly value, that you honestly live out.
I just thought of a really cool activity that we did as part of our coaching program at Georgetown. Almost 100 episodes of Soulful of Wellness. I don't think we've ever mentioned this very cool activity. We wrote a personal mission statement.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's basically defining your purpose, but the cool part of it is that you pretty much have to do it in 1 or 2 sentences. You can't do a whole essay on your, because you could do a whole essay defining your purpose, but that feels like a lot. A personal mission statement, you just get to the heart of it.
Yeah. All right. So write that down real quick or type it out in your phone notes. What is my personal mission statement in 2 sentences?
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Okay. So the second pillar is attaining wellness, which is why we're all here on this podcast.
Right. I hope so.
Fostering both physical and mental health. So wellness integrates your goals related to self-help, self-care, and guides your choices of activities and your lifestyle. So, you know what's really interesting is it says it provides the mainstay for relationships with others.
You know how I think of that? You know, when somebody says, I think I'm ready to meet the one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure if you haven't said it yourself, you've had close friends say it. And you think, well, what do they mean? They mean I've done the work on me.
Yeah.
I have a really good concept of who I am, where I'm headed, what I want. So I feel pretty solid on me. I'm ready to meet my other and now grow together.
Yes, I love that.
That's how I think of it. That's why I feel like when the pillar says the mainstay for relationships with others.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome, Kit. That's such a good example. Very true, too. Got to do the work on yourself to find your partner.
Yeah, the partner's not going to fill in the gaps. You got to fill in the gaps first.
Yes.
And the third me pillar is achieving prosperity. It conjures up images of accumulating wealth, but that's not what it is. It defines your yardstick for measuring success. It integrates goals of financial independence and self-esteem and serves to harmonize reasons with rewards. It optimizes on your aspirations and your abilities.
Okay, so I don't really like thinking about this one as financial stability. So I'll say how I think of it. I think of it as you being able to see what the benefit is or what the result is of achieving that goal or manifesting what you want or making that decision. What could it lead to in terms of like what harmony could it bring to your wellness and to your life? Mm-hmm. What is the reward? What is the end game? What's the outcome?
Yeah, I think the reason they even bring financial into the description of the achieving prosperity is because, well, the theme of the episode, making choices, making decisions, and the whole idea of opportunity cost. When you choose one thing, you say no to all the other things that you chose from. That goes for your job or however you support yourself in life. Yes, you're picking the job for the job, but it's a whole package. Compensation is part of it. So you might work more hours and get more financial reward from it, but then have less hours to spend with yourself. So that's why everybody's pillars look different. Mm-hmm. You have to figure out what's more valuable to you. Would you rather maybe have a job that you love more, that appeals to you more, even if it pays a little less, because you value having more of your time to yourself to do those outside things, even if you don't get to spend as much money doing them?
I feel like we're building a foundation with each pillars going in order on a purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting a little deeper.
Yeah, but like you have to start with your mission statement in order to figure out what wellness means to you, in order to figure out what the prosperity means to you.
Because you've got to narrow it down somehow. There are endless, what we said earlier,
opportunities, choices
out there in the world, your careers. Yeah. Like, you've got to narrow it down somehow. So start with what's important to you.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so moving outwardly, now that we've built all of those foundational blocks.
Yeah, now that we're ready to go out and bring these great selves into the world.
And connect with the world and other people.
The 3 us pillars connect our goals to the world. Together, they create consonance with the people in our life and the places we inhabit.
The 3 are relationships, community, and nature. The first pillar and the us pillars. Okay, relationships. So sustaining meaningful relationships is obviously a really important part of being human, and it's a huge part of your wellness wheel. Yeah. Especially making sure that your relationships are harmonious, because if one of them is off, that could seriously impact your well-being.
Depending on how you define the areas of the wheel, it's maybe 2 major areas because some wheels separate out family and friends.
We know that relationships have scientific healthy benefits. I mean, let alone cuddling and hugging brings oxytocin to your brain and body. But let's talk about this idea real quick about fostering kindness over niceness.
I've read a bunch of good articles on this topic.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it could be a whole episode on its own, is what I honestly think. I think kindness comes, I'm trying to like state a really sophisticated concept really simply, which is not my forte, but I'm going to give it a go. Kindness comes from within. It's aligned with your purpose, with your core values, and how you choose purposely to show up in the world. Niceness is superficial in comparison. I think being nice is a piece of being kind, but kindness is so much more than just being nice. Does that make sense?
Like you're nice to a stranger on the street,
right.
But being kind is really coming from the heart. Yes,
it's so much more. It's thoughtfulness. It's being in tune to what someone, even a stranger, might genuinely need in that moment. Maybe it's a smile. Maybe it's an acknowledgement that they exist. And being in tune enough to notice and care and do what you can.
And being nice is more about concerned with being likable or being perceived in a positive way. And maybe niceness is also a little bit of politeness.
It's a little bit of that, but potentially on an autopilot level.
Right. Okay.
You know how you walk by someone in the hallway and they say, "Hey, how's it going?" You're like, "Great, how are you?" And then later you're like, "Oh, wait, what? What did I just say? Who did I say to?" Because it was just auto. You didn't mean it. You didn't even think about it. It was just a politeness, that just auto response that came out. And I don't think that's genuine kindness. I think that's just being nice in the world.
Okay.
Which is, I don't mean to belittle it. It's important to be nice too.
So maybe we table that as a future episode. Let us know, guys, at sfowpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah. All right, so the next pillar is creating a community. This is huge. This is focused on shared values. It integrates individuals across race, religion, ethnicity, national origin, and provides opportunities for organizations and societies to learn and grow together. I think this can be even smaller than that. It could even be your local yoga studio that you go to, or whichever workout that you really like. I had a friend, shout out to you, Will, who started to go to breathwork classes. Like, I think that is so cool. And I'm sure that if you're going to a cool class like that, you're with like-minded individuals who also want to take care of their well-being. And so maybe that's a way you can start building communities if you start visiting the same place on a consistent basis. It doesn't necessarily have to be belonging to an organization, especially for those of us who are out of college and don't have that built-in sense of community anymore, like a fraternity or a club at school.
I love that. And I think it can happen quite naturally without even trying.
Yeah, and you guys are a part of this community of Soulful of Wellness, which is pretty cool because it's an online community.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're still gaining some benefit knowing that the other listeners are also on their wellness journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sharing some of the struggles and sharing some of the successes with you.
We love it.
And the sixth pillar, near and dear to our hearts, connecting with nature. Connecting with nature creates harmony with our surroundings. Nature nourishes us as we nourish our physical world, guides activities that create emotional, physical, and intellectual well-being, and provides the space to integrate all the other pillars in our life.
I've said this before where I messaged a coworker when we were having a crazy busy season, and I said to her, "Oh my God, I just took a walk outside and I feel like a different person."
Reset.
Yeah.
It offers so much reset potential, just changing environments. But when you change the environment to being outside in a park, looking at the sky, surrounded by trees, oh my gosh, absolutely. It can change your mood so quickly.
I mean, remember last year, Kit, you were bundling up on the porch even in winter and trying to sit outside because it's such a challenge for us on the East Coast to get that sense of nature in the dead of winter.
Yeah. January, February, but it's way too long to go without it.
Yeah. Don't not prioritize that just because it's not available to you. And I'm talking to myself here because I hate the winter and it is very unpleasant to go outside, but it's a really good reminder, Kit, to not let that slip away because that's just going to keep building on sense of hopelessness or negative feelings because you're stuck inside. Got to get those benefits from nature.
Now that you're ready with your 6 pillars to make decisions, big and small, by working through what we promised you, the 3 easy steps for decision making. Okay, you've done the hard work. Now we get to the practical application. We're going to do this by naming the step, talking a little bit about it, and giving 2 examples for each of the steps. One, a small decision example, and one, a pretty big decision example, just to show you how it works.
Step 1, build out your why. So inspect what's behind your wants before you're trying to make a decision.
And this is basically looping us back around to the start of the episode, what we were talking about from the coaching perspective.
And a warning, the more significant the decision, the more important this step is. Definitely when you're considering a big life change, such as a job change, a move, a breakup, figuring out what's my why. What do I really want?
So to show that it works even for small decision examples, you have to choose a location to get together with some friends. Is it a restaurant? Is it a bar? What is it? Okay. Not earth-shattering, right? We do it all the time. We're making this type of small decision. Ask yourself, what's my why? In this case, why are we getting together? What do I hope to get out of this gathering? What will make this gathering a success? And if you can get clear on that, why are you spending 2 or 3 or 4 hours to get together with these people? What do you want out of it? It can help guide the location that will facilitate that happening.
You know what I like is saying a decision is better than no decision.
True.
I mean, for our fellow perfectionists who are in the imperfectionist society, which means you're trying to overcome it, that's a great question to ask yourself. You know what? I'm going to choose Italian because a decision needs to be made.
All right, it works for big decisions. Choosing Italian, maybe not the biggest decision, but choosing a location to live.
It's a big one.
It's huge. Ask yourself once again, what's my why? Why am I relocating? What do I hope to get out of relocating? What will make my new home or my new city or this new location a success?
Getting clear on your why helps your ability to make a decision because your success is now defined not by the location you select, but by your opportunity to be social in a meaningful, connected life and what could be out there for you in a new place and a new space. It's not putting so much pressure on the location or putting pressure on external forces, right? You're sort of stepping into your empowerment.
Yes. You're taking back the reins in this.
What is in my control and what opportunities can I seize?
Step 2, construct a hierarchy of your wants. This sounds big, but it's not nearly as big as it sounds because you have your 6 pillars to fall back on.
Right. So you've already written your mission statement. You know which relationships are important to you, what wellness means to you. And so now you're creating your hierarchy of wants. Oh my God, this is fun. It reminds me of the hierarchy of needs.
It is, but this is very personal because it's your personal hierarchy of wants.
Customized.
Choosing what is more versus less important begins with owning the right and the responsibility of making critical decisions. So believe in yourself. I alluded to this at the top of the episode, but have faith in yourself and believe in your ability to make choices that are going to work out well. This is where confidence and competence grow in tandem. It follows, of course, that the more you make decisions, the easier it becomes to make a decision. So you're better able to choose,
Yep.
so it gets a little easier, and then you feel more
Keep
successful,
practicing.
and you're successful in your abilities, and your confidence grows, and you get the cycle I'm talking about here. Your competence builds, and you're less intimidated when it's time to make a decision, and on and on and on.
I love that. And I think this is where self-talk can be your best friend. That's what I use. And I will quite literally say affirmations like, I'm confident in my decision abilities. Like, I can make good decisions, or I make good decisions.
You say, I got this. I've heard you say it.
I do. I do. I'm
this.
like, I got this. I got this. Yes. And so talk to yourself. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're talking to yourself the way you would a 6-year-old. Well, 6-year-old you, aka your inner child, is, guess what? Still you. So that's perfectly fine. Tell yourself, you got this.
Small decision example. It's the time of year where you've allotted a certain amount in your budget to make charitable donations. It's time for your give back, your philanthropic part of the wheel. Maybe it's not in money, it's in time, but you need to choose a charity or an organization. Ask yourself, where do I need to build my community? What groups or organizations would benefit from my involvement? And reciprocally, could I benefit from interacting with? Think of broadening your experiences, offering to you new perspectives that you can internalize and learn and see things with more compassion or through a different lens of understanding.
This one is really interesting because, again, you've already done the work of your pillars of identifying your mission statement and identifying where you want to build community. So now knowing that, it can start to reveal itself to you.
Ooh, Kaylin, what an amazing way to phrase that.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, big decision example, changing jobs. Ask yourself, what are my priorities? Will I be able to do the things that are most important to me, whether that involves having the time or the financial resources to be able to do them? Does this position align with my purpose and prosperity pillars?
I like this one. It's really helpful to do a pros and cons list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that prioritizing within the pros and prioritizing within the cons, like weighting the items on the pros list, weighting the items on the cons list.
What's most important to you and what's going to impact your well-being the most for the better.
Yeah. All right. Step 3, the final step. Form consistencies across your wants.
Part of what it makes it hard to make a choice is the opportunity cost of each decision, cost-benefit analysis. Weighing what is the cost of this potential decision and what is the benefit of this potential decision.
Yeah, I mean, trade-offs are a reality of life. You can't have everything. There isn't time to have everything. There isn't space to have everything. Creating consistencies across your wants can provide solutions and optimize your decision-making efforts. Small decision example. You know when, I love when this happens, when you're looking at your calendar, got this full calendar, and somebody pretty last minute just cancels something on you, and you're thrilled. Love that. My small decision example is, how can I maximize that unexpected free hour or free 2 or 3 hours that I just got on my calendar this afternoon? Ask yourself, what can I do that will support multiple areas of my wellness wheel simultaneously? What can I do that will fuel a me pillar and simultaneously strengthen an us pillar?
To put that in concrete terms, maybe relaxing is going to do a lot for your physical wellness, but also it's going to help your mind take a break. And then in turn, you're not going to snap at your partner.
I love that. Maybe relaxing is taking a nap, but maybe relaxing is taking a walk in nature. And maybe you have a neighbor or colleague who wants to go on the walk with you, and you just kind of chill and chat.
Or maybe you're like me and Kit and you call each other and have a 45-minute discussion.
I was going to say, and 2 hours later, that
about
whole free slot's gone.
What was the show we were talking about? I'm blanking.
Inferno?
Singles Inferno. Yeah. You have a discussion about your current favorite reality TV show.
Such an unlikely current favorite, but
I know.
It's the way of favorites.
All right. Big decision example. Where should I schedule my week-long vacation? Okay, and this is a fun decision, right? But we can still easily work ourselves up and become overwhelmed and stressed out about something fun. I do it all the time. I ruin a good thing by stressing.
Definitely.
So you can ask yourself, what are my wellness needs at this time? Do I need time in nature to support my emotional, physical well-being? So maybe that's looking like a beach or a mountain. Or do I need time with others? So maybe a group trip or a couples trip. Or do I just need some solo time by myself to reflect and connect with myself? Only you can answer these questions.
Choices related to wellness, relationships, community, or nature can be achieved simultaneously with a friend, a peer, a loved one, and you can connect with them, meet up for a hike, or walk your dogs together, or work toward a common goal, a common wellness goal, instead of having your social gatherings always involve this huge, heavy meal, or, who can relate to this one, way too many drinks.
Yeah, plan something fun where you can knock out something on your wellness wheel. Carla and I used to go for hikes all the time, especially when it's nice out, or go to yoga class with a friend. Whatever floats your boat.
In summary, create a strong foundation for your life and all your decisions with your 6 pillars, your 3 me pillars, purpose, wellness, and prosperity, together with your 3 us pillars, relationships, community, and nature. Doing so provides the scaffolding for powerful decision making by you.
Then you can say goodbye to paralysis by overanalysis by following these 3 steps. 1, connect with your why. 2, create a hierarchy in your wants. And 3, create consistency across your wants.
We'd love to hear your decision-making success story. You can send us a voice message on Instagram. Our Instagram is @soulfulofwellness with underscores between each word. We'll also link it in the show notes. So when you're in Instagram and you go to the messaging part where you would DM somebody, instead of typing in that little box, on the right-hand side of that little box is a microphone, picture of a microphone. Tap it with your finger, hold, speak your little story to us, and as soon as you pick your finger up, it automatically shoots your lovely voice telling us your decision-making success story, and we can't wait to hear some. How fun.
Thanks for joining us again for another Thursday of Wellness Goodness. Please share this episode with a friend that you think could use an extra dose of wellness this week. Peace, love, and light.
Peace, love, and light.
The Soulful of Wellness hosts are certified health and wellness coaches. This podcast is intended to inform and entertain listeners on their wellness journey. This podcast is meant to enhance, not replace, listeners' care from doctors, therapists, or other medical providers. Soulful.